Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today, a civilization that can steal your sheep right from underneath your very nose meets a civilization that keeps getting more and more sheep as the game goes on, as Mr. Yo, playing as the Tatars in red, gets ready to duke it out with Sora Kuma playing as the Celts in blue. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings with their oinksters and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Not a bad time for us to take a look at the civ matchup that we are going to be watching today. Now, the Tatars are a civilization that does whatever it possibly can to push you towards mounted units. Their cavalry archers come with extra line of sight. They get Parthian tactics and thumb ring for free. Some of their mounted units, including, by the way, their scout line units, can be upgraded to get extra armor, and not one, but both of their unique units are in fact mounted. The first is the Flaming Camel, basically a mounted petard, except it comes with a massive attack bonus against cavalry. And the second is the Keshik, a medium cavalry unit that can actually generate a tiny bit of gold every time it tinkle attacks an enemy unit. And by the way, that can come in very useful in the later stages of the game once gold becomes a little bit more scarce. Now, once your army is out on the field of battle, very important for the Tatars to take the high ground, because instead of the usual 25% extra damage that units that units do in this game, Tatars do 50% more damage. This becomes even more important in the later stages of the game when trebs start coming out, because the Tatars can upgrade their trebs to have extra range, with a fully upgraded Tatar treb clocking in at a massive 19 tiles of freaking range. Now, in order to feed a hungry militaristic population and the mounted units that they're riding, well, Tatar herdables do contain 50% more food. They've somehow managed to genetically engineer their herdables to have more included in them. And starting in Castle Age, every time you build a new town center, well, it comes with 2 free sheep. And remember, those sheep don't have 100 food in them. They, in fact, have 150, thanks to the animal eugenics projects of the Tatars. Let's put it like that, in any event. Let's take a look at the right side of the screen, where we've got our Celt in blue, a civilization built around their need for speed. Celtic lumberjacks work 15% faster than normal, which is great because the Celts need lots and lots of this wood for their primary focus, which is siege. Celtic siege workshops work faster, their siege units fire faster, and all units from their siege workshop can be upgraded to get more HP. Now, coming back to the need for speed, their infantry move faster than normal starting in the Feudal Age. Their castles and towers can be upgraded to attack faster, and their unique unit, the Woad Raider, is the second fastest infantry unit in the game, and one that, despite its appearances, comes with a pretty darn good amount of HP and a pretty strong attack. Now, in order to feed a big growing population themselves, the Celts, well, their shtick with the herdables is that they can steal enemy herdables even if it's right next to an enemy unit. So, for example, these pigs, I mean, usually these pigs would be safe anyway, but if you had a unit right here, for example, the Celt could still steal your piggly wigglies. So, Mr. Yo needs to be very careful as he gathers his Celts in the rear, his pigs in the rear position. May want to put them here, in fact, next to the house, but I'm not going to tell him where to put his pig, as he literally leads the next one to the slaughter, inserting him right underneath the TC. So, pretty cool civs, pretty cool players. As we saw last game, Sora Kuma, pretty much on a little bit of a hot streak lately. He did hit 2K8 Elo, 2.8K, 2K8, however you say, 2800 Elo, 2800 lately, which is a fantastic achievement. And Mr. Yo, well, Mr. Yo is Mr. Yo. So let's take a look at the map as both players get loom. Both players start heading up to the Feudal Age. It looks like our Celt will be just a few seconds ahead of our Tatar, who has racked up a excusable and not large 6 seconds of TC idle time. A good amount of hills in the middle ground of the battlefield. Remember, the Tatars, again, they do 50% more damage if their units are on here. So a good space and a good place to discover for Mr. Yo, and a good location for any kind of battles if he wants to lure Sora Kuma to take any damage. I mean, even just a unit that attacks on a 3. No, forget the unit that attacks on a 3. Let's talk about the Feudal Castle. Maybe a unit that attacks on a 4 or a 6. Imagine that going up to a 6 or a 9 attack just by virtue of being on the high ground. Relic in the center. We've got a few lakes on this map. I don't expect any docks, just because the lakes are not really in the rear position, which is something I never thought I'd have to analyze in an Arabia 1v1, but there you go, never say never. And aside from that, the attack path pretty simple. forest in front of Sora Kuma's base, but really nothing in front of Mr. Yo's. Let's take a look at that base. Gold to the north, stone to the south, extra stone off to the back. He's already walled in the northern portion of his base. Why the hell not? There's 3 little finger forests here, and they are pretty well located for a wall off. As is this one, not terrible. A little bit of extra gold off to the bottom and an extra patch of gold to the back, as well as extra forests. Not a bad base for our Tatar at all. Now, generally, Tatars, with the latest meta, there's an archery range. I was going to say Cav archers are generally the du jour unit, and so having a big, juicy forest to the back with extra gold is not a bad thing at all. So, including the berries to the rear, this is a pretty darn good base for our Tatar. Let me know what you think. If you agree, disagree. Am I missing something? Even the front is not that hard to wall off. Careful with the piggly wigglies. Let's take a look at Sora Kuma. Okay, forests a little bit more spread out, but also not bad. His infrastructure is going to have to be a little bit more spread out, as much as the forests are, with the blacksmith going down over here, but easy to wall in. Primary gold to the front, primary stone to the back. Also has extra gold to the rear, and also has extra gold just south of his base, whereas his extra stone in the forward position. So not a terrible spawn here for our Celt, but to be fair, if I had to give out medals, I mean, Sora Kuma's base would get a participation trophy, and Mr. Yo's base would get the #1 prize. Okay, got a bit of a situation developing here. Ooh, you might want to move a little, okay, you might want to zigzag. Mr. Tatar Spearman, Sora Kuma gets the first kill of the game, draws first blood, as that Spearman never learned. Never go in a straight line against archers, always try to ziggy-zag. North, as we saw, is walled in. Forward portion about to become walled in. South, also in the process of being walled in. Mr. Yo is walling himself in quite nicely. Has lost a unit, has seen that it's archers, has archers of his own. Another archery range out of our Tatar. Both players going archers. They have their original scout. Where is Blue Spearman? Okay, so he's sticking at home, guarding the rear of the base. Once assuming he walls this in, that Spearman might want to join the fun here in the front. Although with archers and a scout, maybe a Spearman isn't really too necessary until skirmishers maybe come out. Or pardon me, once the skirmishers out, that the Spearman basically is dead meat. And here we go. Mr. Yo says, get the hell away. Takes a few steps forward, take a few steps back. Neither player banking any resources. Both of them at 28 villagers. Sora Kuma does have fletching. Mr. Yo does not. And so with the extra attack and range, he has already managed to get an archer unit. Will he be able to get another one? Wow, look at the difference in HP. You'd think that these blue archer units had ballistics, but no. They just have managed to get better shots. Mr. Yo, let's take a look at how much of the map he's seen. Has seen pretty much the entirety of the Celtic base. Is now trying to sneak his way in through the rear. We'll find this big old gap here. And our Celt has not seen very much. Okay, so hasn't discovered the location of the rear resources. Doesn't know about the south being walled in yet. Sora Kuma focusing at the moment on building up his military, perhaps trying to dominate the center of the map, realizing that if he cedes control of this portion, well, that's 50% more damage to Mr. Yo, who, by the way, also now has fletching. And so these archers on the high ground, instead of 5, will do 7.5 damage. This is so dangerous. Why are you jacking these 2 particular trees? You have so many other ones. If you don't pay attention, you will leave yourself open and exposed. But even with fletching, the most these archers can do is be annoying, unless Mr. Yo gets lucky and Sora Kuma doesn't respond. Which might happen, actually. No, but this was all a trap. Sora Kuma leaving those villagers as bait, and now has arrived with his Celtic archer force and absolutely decimates Mr. Yo's expeditionary archer force. But that one scout is in. Sora Kuma realizes it, immediately walls off to the rear. What a brilliant play. I mean, I don't know that he did that. I suspect he left those villagers there just a little bit. You know, a little bit extra, maybe a few seconds more than they probably should have been there. There's another kill for Sora Kuma, who takes the kill lead 8 to 5, pardon me. Mr. Yo just got a kill somewhere. He got a couple of kills somewhere. 3 archers lay dead on the battlefield. Okay, Mr. Yo responding in kind. A few of his archers are weak, but a good quantity here. 7 of them moving forward. Both players going double archery range. I'm not too sure what the Celt thinks he's doing, competing with the Tatar when it comes to ranged units. I mean, they're missing Bracer. They're not exactly the strongest when it comes to upgrades. Parthian Tactics, Thumb Ring missing. Bloodlines means, you know, forget anything mounted for the Celts. The Celtic Paladin, basically the laughing stock of the Paladin world. You know, he enters into the... Ooh, is this? Okay, it is closed. Like, there's a class reunion 20 years after graduation of all the Paladins, when they graduated Paladin school, and the Celtic Paladin comes in, and everyone just, like, giggles and laughs at them. No! Down go horses, down go bears. And Mysterio doing his best to contain Mother Nature. But yeah, I'm a little bit interested to see where this goes here for our Celt, who is heading up to Castle Age a few seconds ahead of his opponent. Obviously, he's going to upgrade these to crossbowmen. I think. I mean, why wouldn't he? He's already trained 11 archer units. Mysterio also has 11 archer units. Where are these skirmishers? They are still hiding inside of their homes. So let's take a look at all these random blue dots out on the minimap. We've got a scout up to the top, a skirmisher with a good amount of line of sight, patrolling the northern portion. Mysterio really expects some kind of maneuver here out of our red Tatar, who, for the most part, is just here to the south. Okay. With a force of 7 archers. Where are his 7? Probably also inside the archery range. More archers for him. Heard a bear attack. See a bear die. The circle of life. The circle of Age of Empires life. Double wall off to the north. 38 villagers for red, 39 for blue. And now the players basically maneuvering, clicking, lighting a cigarette, having a swig of water from their water bottle, sip of Coke, whatever the players do as they wait for a few seconds while they go up to Castle Age. And I'm assuming we're going to see crossbow bodkin for both. They are both at 1-1 right now in terms of upgrades. Let's see. No. It is the nothing bowsaw versus nothing Townwatch. Okay. All right, there we go. Mr. Yo getting the crossbow upgrade first, a few seconds ahead of his opponent. 17 army count to 28. 15 skirmishers have been added. So Sora Kuma, I guess, anticipates losing his smaller archer force and then just overwhelming Mr. Yo with skirmishers. Oh, what a lucky get there. Extra TC for you up top, extra TC for you to the bottom, extra TC for Sora Kuma as well. And let's see the crossbows take each other on. Sora Kuma may not want to take this fight, especially since Mr. Yo's now on the high ground. But he is here. Let's see. 15 crossbowmen to 10. Pair of skirmishers hanging out. All the skirmishers here to the center look like they got a crossbow of their own. And now we're 15 to 9 with one more crossbow laying dead. But a few of Mr. Yo's units are very weak in terms of HP, though. His army is twice as large as Sora Kuma's. So Sora Kuma might want to bring these skirmishers up north. Or in fact, wait a second. There might be a little bit of a sandwich occurring here. Or maybe not. Okay. Fantastic micro out of Sora Kuma so far. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? Mr. Yo just lost 5 archers and he only kills 1. This is amazing. Mr. Yo's archers just can't land a freaking arrow. What is happening right now? Sora Kuma denying the high ground for a little bit, but now Mr. Yo finally on the high ground, so Sora Kuma brings in a few of these skirmishers to the north. Has Sora Kuma lost more than 1, now 2 crossbowmen? He killed 15 crossbowmen and lost 2 of his own. What an absolute beast mode of micro. I mean, with that kind of micro, he's gonna be able to rival Hera any minute. That was absolutely epic out of our Celt. That was literally just a trail of dead bodies. Oh my god. I mean, they've already melted into the sands fairly quickly, actually. I didn't realize crossbowmen kind of just dissolved that fast, like a body in a tub of acid, but that was a incredibly impressive display of micro out of Sora Kuma, who then wanders immediately into a town center, which is newly built, which means it comes with that 1-2 sheep combo. 300 food for free. One of the best, if not the best, food related. I mean, the Lithuanians, when they build a town center, get 100 food for free. They don't have to hack and hew at any animals. But I would probably take 300 food and a little bit of villager allocation to 100 free food. What's going on up here? Another extension of a wall off, creating a bit of a corridor here, is our Celt, who, by the way, has also added a 30C right next to the stone to the rear. Mysterio's got 15 villagers on stone, Sora Kuma 7. So castles in the next few minutes should be popping up. Let's see if anyone's added any archery ranges. We see a siege workshop here. I mean, again, the Celt trying to compete with the Tatars on archery range units is like the Tatar trying to compete with the Celt on siege workshop units. It makes little to no sense. Okay, not much of doing here except a 4th TC has been added to our Tatars roster of TCs. And Sora Kuma is now laying siege to the King of Holds. Let's see how much damage he can get done here. Let's see how Mysterio responds. For now, Mysterio, absolutely cool as a cucumber. Training 1 villager out of every TC. Training absolutely no military. He's at 500 food, 700 gold. Has the... There we go. I was going to say has the stone for a castle right as he plops one down. And all of these skirmishes, I don't think Sora Kuma expected to be as successful as he was killing those crossbowmen. Because otherwise, why the hell would he continue to have, why the hell would he have made so many skirmishers? I think he was expecting to lose his crossbowmen. And now he's stuck with an army of skirmishers. I mean, he still has 7 crossbowmen here. Look at their HP. Oh my goodness, bring a monk. You do have a relic, which means you've got a monk, which means you've got a monastery somewhere. Bring a monk. Heal your units, skirmishers. Okay. Trying to get a little bit of damage done here, but our Celt, in a shocking twist, is the first one to lose his siege units. Keshiks are coming out. Okay. Tinkle, tinkle, generating a little bit of gold to pay for their beautiful golden armor. Okay, this is what happens when you don't heal your units. They just all get pancaked. What is going on here to the north? What the hell is this? Sora Kuma doesn't want to deal with Mr. Yo unless he can deal with Mr. Yo on his terms and his terms alone. I feel like he just deleted those 2 Keshiks. I don't think they got pancaked at all. Yeah, 0 kills for that Mangonel. So, kill a Cav Archer, wall in your opponent, but now you're dealing with Keshiks, and Keshiks are absolutely fantastic. They come with 2 base Pierce armor. They train in the blink of an eye. Another castle. Another town center for our Celt. Okay. So he's also going heavy on the stone. Mysterio with 13 villagers on stone. He's had a good number of villagers on stone. High ground saving this Mangonel, basically. But a follow-up volley next to a lazy villager means that that Mangonel dies. He's had so many villagers on stone, and yet doesn't have enough stone yet for a castle? Okay, now he does, finally. So, Sora Kuma not leaving. Taking control of the high ground. 3 Keshiks and a Mangonel are the entirety of the Tatar horde. Skirmishers continue to fall here and there. Not exactly that relevant. Their usefulness has basically run its course. And now the Bloodlines, these units will have 130 HP. The attack is weaker than a knight. The melee armor is lower than a knight, but the HP is higher. And the price gold-wise is half. I mean, it's 40 gold for a Keshik compared to 75 for a knight. Oh, and by the way, they train twice as fast. So with 2 castles, he's going to be able to pump out so many Keshiks. And now he's getting husbandry. So yeah, I mean, no, Mr. Yo's doubling down on Keshiks. A 3rd castle. Oh, he for sure is doubling down on Keshiks. Unless he just likes castles. Unless Mr. Yo recently has been playing SimCity or something. And says, you know what? Let me just kind of build a labyrinth where there's no way that your Woad Raiders are going to be able to run through. Once I, again, jack my wood. This is already open. It's so hard to keep your base closed in the later stage of the game once you've taken the lumber. Ooh, okay. But the monk is a predator. I saw a few blue triangles on top of these Keshik says second castle for our Celt as well. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong about the Keshiks. Maybe the players are just going castle heavy and they have some kind of side bet going on between the two of them as to who at the end of the game is going to have more castles. Down goes the outpost. The gold generation I don't think applies to structures, so they're just kind of taking out their anger, their frustration on that structure, making sure Sora Kuma can't see anything. But Sora Kuma catches a Tatar outpost, and now he's going to chase this villager into the middle of nowhere, and as she runs, she will die. Second castle is still not complete for our Celt. Oh, I should stop talking. First I said he didn't have enough stone for a castle, and then I look to the right and immediately places a castle. Then I say the castle's, how the hell is it still not done? And then look up top to the screen and it's done. Now, Woad Raider versus Keshik will be an absolute epic fun battle to watch. Shockingly, here's the funny thing about Age of Empires. Unit with a horse costs 60 food. Emaciated hipster with very funny pants, 65 food. Not too sure that makes sense. But in terms of gold, the Woad Raider obviously an infantry unit, and so it does only cost 25 gold to the 40 of the Woad of the Keshik. Keshiks, which are getting poked in the ass by a couple of spearmen, turn around and okay, decide, you know what, never mind. My goal is more important than stopping for a couple of spearmen. Or the upgrades on the Woads. No upgrades whatsoever. That is a ballsy move out of Sora Kuma, going lucky number 13. But now he's going Halberdiers. Okay, the better move probably is the Halberdiers. Who's kidding who? As fun as it is watching these baristas kill these Keshiks, probably the better move, excuse me, is the Halberdier with the plus 32 attack bonus against the Keshik. Synchronized attack doesn't last very long, and now the gold generation begins. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 gold just for taking a small little engagement like that. You know, like I said, it's a tiny little trickle, but the longer you have them, the longer the game goes on, the more fights they take. Oh, you know, it doesn't hurt. Anything free, I've said this a few games ago, anything free in this game is great. And by the way, now they're elite. And their stats improve significantly when they're elite. Their HP jumps by 30, their attack jumps by 2, their pierce armor jumps by 1. There are units like the composite bowman for the Armenian. When you get the elite version, it means absolutely nothing. The Keshik is the opposite, in full frontal engagement here. Keshik's already got a few trebs, looks like they're going to get one more. 9 skirmishers still here for our Celt. And the Keshiks get it. The Keshiks retreat. They are 50 seconds away from Blast Furnace and being absolutely fully upgraded, taking on not only a physically naked Woad Raider, but an upgrade naked Woad Raider, as well as this Woad Raider only has, well, now I did it again. I was going to say +1 armor, but the red as I said that, immediately the armor upgrade completed. And now they have 2. Mr. Yo runs right through the body of Halberdiers, and he's going for that treb, but now with the pierce armor, he can take a bit of castle fire. Look at that freaking armor. 7 pierce armor. What a unit. I'm trying to think what the Celt has here to deny 42 Keshiks. It certainly isn't 9 skirmishers, but the Halberdiers certainly are going to help. And remember, these are Celtic infantry units, so they move 15% faster than normal. Okay, he shoos away Mr. Yo to the north. He shoos away Mr. Yo to the center. The problem is he's got to protect his trebs. Honestly, you're at 186 population, Sora Kuma. Throw or delete these freaking skirmishers. You don't need them. They literally do 1 damage to the Keshik, and now the Keshik rear ends. Not 1. Not 2, but 3 more trebs. And down they go. And outrun the Keshiks yet again. 1 or 2 might die here, actually. Never mind the castle. Ooh, almost got that one. Does he have strongholds? You got to get stronghold. You got to get that castle firing faster. You got to get the infantry to get healed up within that massive radius. And look at Mr. Yo. He saw the location of the gold. I don't see any villagers moving forward. Never mind. 6 villagers. Oh, but he doesn't need the castle to kill the vills who are getting the gold. He's got that Keshik force, and they are just slaughtering 25 dead villagers. Oh, but Mr. Yo stumbles into a forest of halbs. That being said, a halberdier is not going to kill villagers quite as quickly. There's Timorous Siegecraft for our Tatars, so +2 range added to his trebs. There's another engagement in the front here. Do they have siege engineers? They do. Look at that 16 +3 range. And despite heavy losses, our Tatar just pushes through the forest of halberdiers. How the hell are these skirmishers still alive? I love that Mr. Yo is just absolutely ignoring them as 2 more trebs shit the bed. Oh my goodness. Sora Kuma is just not able to defend his trebs. It's got to be a conscious decision out of Mr. Yo to leave these skirmishers here. He says, you know what? Keep your skirmishers. They do no damage to my units, literally 0 damage, which the game has to, again, the participation trophy of Age of Empires has to make it a 1. And so have your tiny little unit take up population space. I'd rather you have a skirmisher than a halberdier. Let's see how the progress on the castle is going. Ooh, Mr. Yo gets it up. And now the cat, look how fast they train. I think 15 seconds is not the fastest unit in the game, but it's so freaking fast. Now the gold here to the south, the tertiary gold of our Celt is lame. Halberdiers are going to get picked off with the ballistics castle as they try to chase in. And for the 3rd time, I miss the beginning of the engagement here in the front. Castle is still up. It is on the high ground, but look at the range. How ridiculous is that? And for a 2nd time, the Keshiks just absolutely power through the halberdiers. They are fully armored. Why are the halberdiers doing such a shitty job? It's got to be the 160 HP. It's got to be the 1.9 attack speed. Celtic Castle is about to fall. It looks like there are engagements on the other side to the north of the map. 1 red dead villager to the south. Well, to the south of GG. Keshik's busted in here as well. How exactly did they bust into here? Is this open? How do these... Oh my god, did he... By the way, did he get that treb? Oh, come on. What is that, like treb number 30? That Sora Kuma lost in this game? That is just ridiculous. How the hell did those Keshiks... Oh, it was just this house, and then he built the gates. Okay. So he destroyed the house, and then he got locked outside, did Mr. Yo. I mean, how hilarious and apropos of everything that we've seen so far this game that this one last treb had to die before Sora Kuma said, you know what? I just can't keep losing trebs. I've lost like 13 trebs this game. 13 trebs, 2 castles, 237 units, and Mr. Yo. Did Mr. Yo just identify a weak point of the Celtic army? Did he? I don't know. I'm trying to think what the Celt has again, besides copious numbers of halberdiers. And how many barracks does Circle? Oh, this is the problem. This is the problem. Only 5 barracks. Add 5 more, reinforce. You're nowhere near population cap. I mean, neither is Mr. Yo. But when this unit costs 40 gold, I wish there was a stat that showed how much gold they did generate at the end of the day. But fully upgraded, look at the stats, not bad at all. 15 attack, which to be fair is lower than the Woad Raider fully upgraded. Although the Woad Raider isn't even elite at this point. I love this. This is hilarious. But it looked like an outpost and a dead villager here to the north, a penetration here to the south. The center has been breached, and Mr. Yo is now on the aggressive. He's held the not perhaps the strongest aggression out of Sora Kuma. Sora Kuma did establish himself here in the center, but unfortunately he failed to take seriously the Keshik numbers, and then they just started running around the map. They were here to the north, they were here to the south, and with 35 dead villagers to 7, our Tatar just steamrolls over all 3 parts of the map, and even this one castle with its meager 10 range has nothing on the 19 freaking range of the Tatar Treb. And my god, 19 range That is, you can basically shell your opponent from the comfort of your couch with that kind of range. And the Keshik's not too far away from this one Treb, which is going to do very minimal damage because this castle is on the high ground, although this guy is much closer, though he will have to deal with a Woad Raider. Does have a buddy here to support him. So we'll see. It's a race. Will the Keshiks on the right or will the Keshiks on the left reach that Treb first? And Sora Kuma, despite having an internal gold, felt the need to go off campus and get the gold all the way over here. I don't understand it. I guess the rating here, eventually you'll take care of this. You have walled this in. So they both die with 132 villagers, but I feel like Sora Kuma just, it's so psychologically damaging to lose Treb after Treb after Treb. You lose your castles you established for 20 minutes, your center position, to have it overrun. And I think Sora Kuma just said, F this, threw his hands up in disgust and tapped out 187 Keshiks to 144 Halbs. Crosswomen and, I mean, the skirmishers, tell me some skirmishers survived. No, that would have been the ultimate cherry on the sundae if like 7 skirmishers survived at the end of the day. POWs. What happens to all, by the way, all these military units of the team that dies? I guess they become POWs, right? And then they get tried. What does happen to all these units? Theoretically, if you got really, really into drugs and did ask yourself a whole bunch of stupid questions, what happens to this Woad Raider after his government decides to say GG to the Tatar government? Does he go to prison? Does he go to military jail? Does he get hanged in front of a tribunal? Who knows? Silly, silly questions. PKPM halfway through the game. PKPM right at the beginning of the game. Very relaxed for Sora Kuma. Double digits here. Economically, ooh, ouch. 15,000 or so more resources. And our, oh goodness gracious. Look at the buying and selling by Mr. Yo. Just absolutely bonkers. Relic Gold does go to our Celt, who does manage to, I mean, this is first of all, this is an accomplishment all on its own. Out-relicking Mr. Yo. Although, to be fair, Mr. Yo really did seem like he had a game plan to go Keshik, put his head down, put his foot on the pedal, and ignored everything, put on horse blinders, and just said, forget the relics, forget anything. I'm just going Keshik, 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 Keshik. And I really do wonder how much of this 12,204 is Keshik gold compared to anything else. But food, 10,000 more food than his opponent. My goodness, wood identical, stone about a castle and a half's worth difference. Gold, I mean, if you remove the relic gold, it's even worse. It's like half the gold of his opponent. But food, my goodness, 10,000 more food. 4 conversions to 1, 10 raisings to 4. But the Vil kills, the more importantly, Treb kills. Mr. Yo, the Treb sniper extraordinaire, the king of holds against, like I said, not the scariest aggression. And I don't think Sora Kuma, okay, he did see, I guess, a few extra things here in the center with his mangonels and his skirmishers, but ultimately didn't really get to see the inside guts, whereas Mr. Yo very much knows exactly where everything is located and can reach it from, I'll say for a 9th time, or a 19th time, 19 freaking tiles of range. I love it. I love the Tatar Treb. It's just such a bonkers unit, as is the Keshik, apparently. The Celtic Achilles heel, perhaps. Who knows? Maybe Mr. Yo just stumbled upon something, but it doesn't really matter with the Keshik, with the Treb snipes, with the destruction of the center position, the penetration to the south, and the one, yeah, sure, random dead villager to the north, and the bear that he brought along with him. Mr. Yo takes the W, but GG to both players.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.